Hey guys, it's Cool P back with part 3 of my Sunday grind for this week. This is the first week I've done it in months, but yeah, I started a new tournament. This one is a 6K guaranteed Deep Stack Turbo Freeze Out. The buy-in for it is $11, so it's not a big tournament. But again, that's kind of, I'm aiming for those smaller tournaments today because of how I feel like I have performed today and because I haven't played recently, and I want to kind of get back into the groove of things with not throwing my whole bankroll at it, I guess. So yeah, some of the reasoning why. I'm in the money currently of this $5,500 freeze out. So, yeah, I guess that's the most exciting tournament at the time. It's not a huge tournament, but, I mean, this one's probably the most exciting anyways, the 100K on Bovada, the new, yeah, the new Bodog, I guess you could call it. At least for U.S. players. I don't know exactly what happened. I feel like they turned it into a network, and now there's more than one website, poker website, that kind of like the Merge Network has Lock and Carbon and all those other poker sites that all play on the same network. I feel like Bodog did the same thing as what happened, from what I understand. I might be wrong, but from what I understand, that's what happened. And then Bovada is the only one that lets U.S. players play. Something along, that's how it happened, I think. So. So yeah, I'm right in 20th out of 40 right now. So right in the middle of things. Good shot to make a run at this final table, and we'll see if I can. It's kind of nice to make a deep run. It makes me feel better about how I've been playing, even though you can make a deep run and win big tournaments by playing poorly. But it just you try not to be results oriented, but your emotions are so centered around results that your my confidence is often tied to results. Even though I try really hard not to do that, but it's just the emotions are just tied to results, so it kind of feeds everything else, and that's why tilt is so often, you know, it's always based on results. You never, people usually don't get tilted because they're just playing badly. They do sometimes, I guess, but, or they feel that they're playing badly, but tilt so often happens 90% of the time, I'll say, because of results and of bad variance usually. So few players actually here. I mean, it feels like I'm raising from first, but really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5 players behind me. So I think it'll get more, this raise will get more, I mean, I have a decent hand too. It'll get more credit as well because there's so few players. There's so many players missing here. Question is, do I get fancy or not? I think I'm not going to get fancy. I've been getting fancy too much, and I've been getting fancy too often, and it usually has not worked out for me. And I usually don't have a huge reason to get fancy. I just, like, you know, it seems like a good time to try this move that can work and interesting. It's more like I'm thinking like this is a pretty strong move in and of itself, but it's only really strong if you apply it in the right situations and you know really what's going on. And I've been trying to use these moves that kind of half work with the situations that are at hand. So yeah. Make sure I'm not sitting out of any of these. I'll just call. Again, if you haven't watched my earlier videos today, I keep minimizing it and bringing it back up because my poker tracker doesn't come up unless I do that, and I don't exactly know why that happens. I really need to contact Poker Tracker about it because my poker tracker just has not been working smoothly recently. And I don't even think you guys can see my stats, and they just popped up. But I don't think, for whatever reason, it's the one thing on my screen that doesn't get recorded. And I don't know why that is. I think I'm just going to shove here. I mean, I don't have that many big blinds, and I'm on the button, and it's not like I want to raise fold, so. This guy's pretty tight, too, from his stats. Although I don't have a lot of hands with him. The few hands I do, he's pretty tight. Some of the decisions I make are based on stats, and you guys don't get to see it, which is kind of unfortunate. Sometimes I'll talk about them, sometimes I forget to talk about them. Maybe I can hide my reasoning behind, oh yeah, I saw this guy's stats, and it made me do it. So it can make me save face a little bit when I make bad plays. But no, I'm not trying to do that at all. It's frustrating because I want you guys to learn as much as you can while you watch me. I want to give as much value as possible, but so I'll try to remember to talk about stats when they enter my mind, but sometimes I don't verbalize my thoughts very well while they're happening, and I just kind of start dealing with the situation. If you watch me long enough, you understand that I do that sometimes. I try to break that habit and try to verbalize it all. Sometimes I simply don't have time, and I have to just kind of go from one hand to the next because my time bank's running out, but I also haven't watched any of the pro videos for so long that I've probably, I mean, I used to kind of try to emulate what they do in terms of the strategy they give out and how they talk about it and what they're explaining and the advice that they're giving out and stuff. I haven't watched those in forever. I lost my card runner membership when Full Tilt went down. I stopped paying for, I forgot the name. I was doing with this other one for a while. I stopped paying for it when I stopped playing as much. I stopped paying for it, and I used to go over to my buddy's house all the time. Not this guy, but a different friend of mine's from Eugene, and we'd watch videos over there all the time of pros that, you know, he had access to, and I haven't been watching those videos recently, so I don't know if my quality's gone down since then or not. My style maybe has changed. I don't know. Also, I think my style is different today because I'm been gone from it for so long. I'm kind of more just battling. Hopefully it's still of good value, because I don't want to put out stuff that's of bad value. If I am, let me know, and let me know what I need to change. I totally love constructive criticism. It doesn't always feel good, but if it makes my product better, bring it on. Also, I love support, so if you guys like what I'm doing, let me know, because that always feels good and makes me want to do more of it. You know, I'm pretty short here, and I think the problem is I don't feel like I have like any fold equity. Yeah, with no fold equity, I feel like I need to fold. If I had fold equity, I would show. I mean, the problem is how I see it. I feel like a lot of people would just shove this right here. Most people would, and most people are thinking that's a pretty big mistake folding. Didn't see that last hand. My friend. texted me what he did, but I didn't. Okay. Oh man, maybe I should have gone, unless they had ace jack or king jack. So most people, I feel like, would, sorry, I do this all the time where I get sidetracked and stuff, but most people would probably think you just gotta shove there, it's just the right play. My problem with that, oh wow, he did have king jack, is I'm not getting him to fold. I just simply am not. Like, unless he's just some weird amateur who has no clue what he's doing, which I really can't assume. Especially since with this new number thing, there's no way I can assume something like that unless I've really been seeing him make some bad plays. He's got a ton of chips, so on top of that, it's not like his life is out on the line or anything. He's totally willing to probably put as much in there. Then if you raise, he's willing to call another 2,000. It's just the case. I'm not getting him to fold. So at that point, it just becomes, is this where I want to try to go for it? Like, is my hand better than his raising range with a little bit of odds in terms of blinds and antes, with a little bit of have to consider there's still hands behind me that haven't played? Now, I just don't think it's the right play there. I mean, maybe I think his raising range is a little bit too... Maybe I'm giving him too much credit on what he's raising with. But when I really think about it, I'll go like, okay, he's raising with maybe 5s plus, 5, 6, 7s, 8s plus. And, you know, everything else is 2 overs. So do I want to put my whole tournament on most likely a coin flip with the chance of him having an overpair on me, with a few very small chances that I either have one card, that he has one undercard on me, or he has an underpair to me? The few chances that that's the case. I don't really want to, and I don't think he's just blindly, unless I haven't been watching him closely, so maybe he does, but I don't think he's just blindly raising all the time. So, you know, he probably, you know, king jack's probably lower on his range than most. I gotta shove this. This is a really easy spot to shove. Hoping for 2 folds. Probably won't get it. But I feel like this is a good situation for me right here. Trying to pick up a lot of chips. I could get 2 folds, definitely. With just a min raise and a call. Yeah. I mean, that's a bunch of chips right there without even having to miss anything. That's awesome. I mean, I had a really good hand, but I don't really want to go in with that against the pair right now. I mean, if someone had ace-queen, I would have wanted them to call, but, you know. This is a very interesting spot. There's so much in that pot. I feel like I gotta call just because of the amount in that pot. This is the problem with this, is probably the best hand, but it's a little bit of a tricky spot. Oh. It's a really big bet. Where did my time bank go? Oh, there it is. Again, I'm not used to this software at all. It's a turbo. Yeah. I think, man, I'm gonna try to bluff out 2 people. I just min raise. I think there's so many hands that he has that beat me. There's so much in that pot. The reason I'm just calling rather than betting is to try to get him to try to, if he is bluffing, to get me to bluff out again on this street. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was very likely to happen. I was thinking, the reason I didn't shove over the top, if he is bluffing, I want to get him to bluff the rest of his chips in on the turn. And actually, that's really where I kind of messed up, I think, was if he is bluffing, he might just shut down. That was really the biggest thing I should have considered to get me to fold was, first of all, it's his range, it has so many kings in it. Min raising and then making a big bet there, it just has a lot of kings. There's only 2 kings left in the deck, but there's a lot of kings in his range. He's continuation betting against 2 players is not something that people just constantly do, and he made a really big continuation bet. Man, I could have easily gotten away from that. The mistake I really made there, I don't know about if I should have continued with the pot or if his range was, I'm a little murky on ranges right now, just my absence away from the game, and I'm not reading very well today, I can realize. So the big mistake I made there was not in terms of misreading his range, I don't think, because I think I was a little off with that in retrospect. I think there was really likely he had a king. There was some hands I can think of that he'd be bluffing with right there. A lot of pairs in the middle of that range, some aces and stuff. But where I made my big mistake in hindsight is if he was bluffing, he didn't commit all his chips, and to just call, I was thinking if I just call, he's going to put all his chips in on the turn no matter what, and if he's bluffing, he'll do that. If I raise, he might just fold. He'll probably just fold now, so I have to call for him to bluff the rest of his chips in the pot. But that's not the case. If I just call and he really is bluffing, he can just check it down and fold if I bet, you know? And that's probably what he would have done. And that's where my odds just kind of fall apart in terms of is he bluffing, is he not? Because if he has it, he's going to get all my chips. If he doesn't, I'm going to get all but 2,500 of his chips or whatever his last bet was. So that was really a pretty... I think you can really learn from that too, and I can learn from that. I mean, my reading of his range, some people would go one way, some people go the other way. I think, I don't know what's going on here. I hate this when you can't see anything. I think nobody has entered the pot yet, so I'm going to shove. Uh-oh. That's the best I can hope for. And a king is very good. Sweet. Calling there is fine by him. You know, it makes sense to call there. I wouldn't like calling there, but I'm pretty sure I would. Wow. I'm in 6th. With a pretty big hand. I could just call this. I don't want to. Actually, I probably should. I don't want to see his stats though. But now it's all freaking out on me. Okay. I'm gonna make a 3-bet, but not all in 3-bet. No, it's going to be really hard to fold if he shoves, is the thing. And so I don't think I'm going to. But I don't want him to shove. Yeah, but his range is pretty tight if he does, man. He could easily have ace-king here. I actually kind of put him on ace king. Only thing I think I'm really scared of is ace king of diamonds. Well, that makes ace king even less likely. Shove this. I think that's pretty simple. I think it makes sense to shove here. Really get in on the turn because there's a lot of reasons for that. It's just the dynamics totally change on the river. So if I do have him, which I actually could, ace king isn't given for him, it's just a likely hand for him. The one reason for calling was if he is bluffing to try to get him to bluff again, but if he has any sort of a hand, I feel like this is when you kind of have to push it. He could have a diamond draw. I mean, he's got something, it looks like. Maybe a pair under my kings is probably the most likely thing. And it's just, yeah, river dynamics work against you usually in those situations if you have a monster hand. So, yeah, he read me pretty well, which I don't think it was that hard to read me. Making the 3-bet pre-flop. The only thing that would be a little hard to read would be just the call on the flop, but I don't think that's a weird play with ace king, honestly. I think it's not the typical way to play it, but I thought it was the smart play with him betting into me not really being afraid of much. I'm not really afraid of anything coming for the most part. I'm willing to go with it. Okay, so let's see. I'm in first in chips now after that hand, which is sweet. Winning this tournament would, even though I don't feel like I played well today, it would make it a very good day for me. $1,500 for first. I'm not going to be buying in that much. So, definitely make it a very positive day. I mean, I've probably only bought in for 300 or so far. The 200Ks were 150, and on top of that, maybe another 100, so maybe $350 of buy-in so far, something like that. Let's see, what others? How long? Thinking how long I want to play today, and how many more tournaments I want to sign up for. Do I want to only sign up for turbos at this point? Do I want to commit to long tournaments? Probably play. Cause see, the thing is, if I keep going with longer tournaments, I'm gonna get sucked into the evening tournaments on lock. And actually, I don't think I will get sucked into them that badly. Maybe I will a little bit. I'm gonna sign up for oh wait, because there's nothing. I'll just wait for late registration if I'm gonna play them all. I guess I'm still in the 100K on Bovada. Very short. Still a ton of players left, but I'm still alive. Actually, this is a tournament I probably want to play. That could be one I want to play too. There's so many players left. Sorry, I'm talking to myself and I'm missing hands. And I'm really short in these two. I live on the short stack, and it's not healthy. It's like eating fast food or something. It's really bad for you, and it's addictive, and you can't get away from it, but you always seem to end up there. Yeah, I should probably raise this guy. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to know, for those of you who watch these really long videos, I know some of you watch, I'm pretty much all the way through. How do you just sit there and watch them, or do you watch them with music in the background, or do you, like, how do you typically watch these videos? I want to know because I want to know what to gear what I'm doing towards. I mean, if you guys really just like watch this and this is all you're doing when you're watching and you're really paying attention, I'll try really hard not to have long lulls, and I'll try to be a little bit more entertaining, and I'll work hard at that. If not, you know, if you guys just kind of do it as in the background, or, you know, you don't need that constant stimulation from it because you're not quite as focused on it, then I'll know I can kind of not be as focused on being really intent with it. I'll probably be able to get more content because I'll be able to feel like it doesn't have to be as high of quality necessarily. I definitely got to call this. If this guy goes all in, I probably should call still. I won't be that happy about it, but yeah, I'll be fine though. This is easy. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to see quite. A flop was, turn was, river was. Sweet. And I get a hand to go in with over here. Hopefully stay alive for a little longer. Just ride the short stack. God, I gotta get off of this. I gotta just... Oh, it's sick how often I'm on the short stack. I'm still trying to register for this tournament, but I can't seem to. If it folds to me, I think I gotta shove. But it's not going to. I'm in third now? Yeah. My computer's going pretty slow, actually. Oh, I guess my buddy is out now. 25th, unfortunately. He was in like 4th not that long ago, so I guess he either had some missteps or got unlucky, or both, or probably a combination. Oh well. We've still never gone 1-2 in a tournament before, and we've always wanted to, so another day, I guess. Like I just took the blinds over here. I'm barely even paying attention to these two tournaments, which is bad, especially when this is the 100K. And I can't. Okay, I am registered for that tournament, just hasn't given me a table yet. You know, I'm pretty short in this tournament, but when I look at the table around me, like, you know, if I double up, I'm like sticking at this table in chips. So this is another thing I'm noticing that's kind of frustrating with Bovada. For whatever reason, kind of weirdly, I can't open up. If I have a hand, maybe it's something that Lock's doing, I don't know, but I've never had this happen before where I'm playing on Lock and I'm playing on Bovada, and if I have a hand on Lock, it won't let me bring up the Bovada table in front of the Lock table. I've never had that issue before playing, or not if I have a hand, but if it's my action on the Lock table. So I have to make the decision on the Lock table first, unless I would move the Bovada table around and make it. So. I have that guy marked as a fish. And you want to play with fish, and I'm on the button, so I'll call. I don't know why I have him marked as a fish. I probably just saw him make a really bad play once. It's usually what it means when they just have a fish and I don't have anything typed. I just thought he made a really bad play one time. Usually, not always. That's not always the case. It's a good flop for me, though. I can't just check it, though. There's a lot of hands that make my hand look quite a bit, or a lot of cards that make my hand look quite a bit worse. That's a hand that makes my hand quite a, or a card that makes my hand look quite a bit better. I think I got it. Yeah. He couldn't hit the straight. He had a pretty good hand, though. And he had trips and the straight draw, and he hit the straight. So I don't think he played that necessarily. I mean, that shark is dead. What does that mean? That shark is dead. Maybe they're talking about something from before. I probably gotta call this. I don't love it. But I got a good hand. If this guy does something, I don't need to. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I gotta call this. Ace King's really what I'm worried about. Yeah. You know, I just feel like Ace Queen runs into Ace King so often. It's insane. You just gotta be so concerned to split. Maybe I should have called for the queen. There's actually a huge pot, 60K pot. I think that's a fine call, though. I gotta turn off Poker Tracker. No, I don't want to turn off Poker Tracker, though. My computer's just running so slowly. And this always happens with Poker Tracker. God, I've just been probably blinding on this. Man, I'm gonna be embarrassed if I folded some really good hands, or some hands I probably folded some hands I really shouldn't have folded. And this is a huge tournament, so we'll see. Okay, Poker Tracker, you're done. I'm sorry. You're just slowing everything down too much. When it's affecting my play in this kind of fashion, I have to turn it off. The recording software you might think is what's doing it, but no, it's always Poker Tracker. Hey, I'm still alive in the 100K. So I think I'm down to 5th, at least. I don't remember where I was before that 60K turn hand I lost. Unfortunately, I have to go with that Poker Tracker now, which actually helps me a lot. I need to get it fixed. The problem is I play so little, it's like I don't think about it when I'm not playing anymore, you know? And then I just don't deal with it before I start grinding. But now it's running smoothly, very smoothly. And I just need to call Poker Tracker support. Maybe if it's just bad enough, I'll get hold of manager. I'm looking for other tournaments to play. Here's a small one, but hey, why not? Bovada again. This is a weird hand. Interesting. Actually, I need to rebuy. Okay, it's time to focus again and start talking. Right when I say focus, I'm about to time out on this table. So I'm in 7th in this tournament now. That was kind of a big hit I took, unfortunately. You know, that's a tough spot with that ace-queen. It's hard to just play that passive. There's so many pairs he has. Problem is, he's just not likely doing that with ace-jack. And so ace-king just kind of haunts you in those situations. But there's so many pairs and there's so much money in the pot that that's really, you know, how much did he have? How much did he shove? I don't remember, but let me try to look it up. He ended up with 61 after the pot, after the hand. And he put in 28. So if you double 28, that goes to 56, or yeah, 56. And he ended up with 61. And then I already put in 45, so I only had to match. Well, I guess I'm doing this the absolute hardest way to figure it out. I had to put in 24 to win 61. So I have to call that there because there's so many pairs he has that are coin flips. You know, it's just I can't fold when I have those kind of odds right there with a hand like ace queen. So it's kind of an unfortunate situation, you know. Kind of just can call it a cooler, I guess. I don't like calling things coolers because I like to try to think of how I can play it better, even if it's such a typical scenario, just to kind of stretch my mind and to try to keep working instead of getting lazy and just saying, whatever, I couldn't do anything. But constantly trying to improve. I hate doing this, by the way, but I feel like I kind of need to. I only got 10 big blinds. I'm just really hoping I don't get called. This is the only guy who I feel like could call me, and I wouldn't hate it because he could call me with worse. And he did. And I won. Perfect. So after doing absolutely nothing in this tournament for a very long time, and actually kind of getting owned by that guy who I just got knocked out, or at least feeling like I did. Maybe he just was running on me really well, I don't know, but feeling like he was getting the better of me. I knocked him out, and I'm still short, but I'm definitely alive in this tournament. And this is a big tournament. I mean, first is like 22 or something, so not shabby at all if I win. No, here I just have a good hand. I'm not, you know, these small blind situations, I've filled with a couple. I'm sitting out again. I'm just gonna get frustrated by that. Small blind situations, occasionally I feel like I've come up with some good strategies that work, but they've never worked for a long period of time, and I've always felt vulnerable in that spot. I've never liked playing out of the small blind. oh, small blind, big blind, I mean, and playing in the small blind, I always feel like, I don't know. Some people just say it's hard to play just because of the situation you're in. You know, it's just no one really can play it all that well because it's just a bad spot to be in because you're out of position and you know, you already have some chips in there, so you don't want to just fold. But I gotta call this too. Again, I dominated. Oof, but I'm getting lucky so far. I got very fortunate there. Maybe that makes up for when my friend hit that 10 on me. But I mean, that's why I have to call there. Down to 19 players, so I'm pretty close to the final table. I could definitely make a run at this. I actually have chips to play with here, and whenever I've had chips to play with, things have not turned out well, but oh God, folding is such a weak thing to do. I don't like any play. I don't like folding, I don't like raising, and I don't like calling. God. You know, I'm going to make the stupid weak play and just fold because I'm just going to pretend I didn't get Deli's queen. I just don't feel comfortable with that spot. I know I'm making a mistake. I flat out know I'm making a mistake. That's not the right way to play it. I don't feel comfortable with any decision, and so I'm just going to kind of play my tournament as if I missed an opportunity, but not compound the problem by putting myself in a situation where I don't know what to do, if that makes any sense. It's like I'm choosing to make the smaller mistake rather than the bigger mistake because I don't know what the right play is. And if I make any play and I keep going with the hand, I'm going to feel really uncomfortable. And that's just a recipe for not playing well. So I'm choosing to make a mistake. No, I'm making a small mistake, but because folding's not the right. If just open folding ace queen right there is so weak. But again, I'd rather make that mistake than make a bigger one. So I probably should have just shoved. But I don't like that either. I don't. I mean, I just went with ace queen against ace king. There's so many hands behind me. Shoving's probably the right play there. I mean, my hand's strong enough. I don't want to get in a queen. I probably should have just shoved, and then I don't have to think about it anyways, but it's like, I didn't feel comfortable with it. I didn't feel confident about it. I kind of like my chances a little bit more trying to wait for a different spot later than to go for that one. How I talked about in I think video 2, don't what was it that I said? Really respect raises from first position, and that's what I was kind of doing there. He's got a lot of chips. I don't think he's afraid of calling if he has something good. I don't think he's calling with anything worse, so really I'm just trying to get him to fold. I'm playing purely based on my fold equity and how my hand holds up against pairs, and I'm dominated only by one hand. That isn't a pair. And that's really what I'm going off of. So, again, I know, like, you can comment about how bad that play is if you want, but I know it's probably not the right play. And I know I'm also one of the biggest nits probably that all of you have seen. I never think of myself as that way. I just kind of know I am because everybody says I play too passively. But I gotta play this. And I'm gonna, oh. It's a lucky river, although I had the best hand going in. See, the reason I end up in situations where I'm that short is because I make plays like that, or I just fold ace queen. Normally I probably wouldn't make that play. I just, again, I don't feel comfortable about it. I don't want to compound my mistakes by not knowing what to do, and it just felt like a really awkward spot. But some people would be, I'm sure some of you are cringing after seeing that, so I apologize. Yeah, thinking about it, yeah, because now I only got like 13 big blinds, or not even 13 big blinds. Yeah, I needed to shove there. Wow. I'm just trying to see like shoving here just feels stupid because I didn't shove with ace queen, but like I'm gonna put my life on the line with queen 8 rather than ace queen, and it feels kind of dumb. I really try to respect first position raises. I didn't see him calling with anything worse. It just felt like an awkward spot that was not good. Really, I mean, I think I gave myself a little bit too little fold equity when I was analyzing it, thinking he's going to call too often, and I also don't like getting into coin flips. Again, this is the same type of thing. He's only min raising, so I feel like I kind of beat his range a little bit. I flat out think I beat his range a little bit, is why I'm doing this. I don't think I have much fold equity. I guess I have some. Oh, wow. Holy moly. Talk about a decision. Just flat out shoves. I guess he doesn't have as much as it looks like he has. I mean, yeah. I think I gotta call this. It's just, I mean, he doesn't have many more than 10 big blinds, really. He's got like 14 big blinds or whatever. I think I beat a lot of pairs that he's shoving with. Yep. So I'm not a complete nit. I have some very bad tendencies that I fight. I'll put it that way. I'll call this too. Ah. Oh, now I'm in trouble. Oh, not anymore. Oh, I still am. So I guess hopefully you see that and you go, okay, I'm not a horrendous nit, and I don't always make horrible folds, and I can sometimes make difficult calls or aggressive plays or whatever. I guess that was just a call, but so I am capable of that at least. I just didn't like it in this one. And am I still live in this? Yes, I am. So, you know, I guess I have some problems to work through, and I have some good attributes like every poker player, but I think that just showcased an area of my game where I really struggle with, but I'm working to improve, and you can see, you can kind of see it right there where I definitely still have issues with it, where I just fold ace queen when I shouldn't. And see, it's so easily to admit it after the fact. It's weird how hindsight is in poker, even when you don't know what actually. I can't. I'm just getting lost. But it's an area of my game I've worked hard to improve, and you know, previously I would not have made that call with tens. similarly like I folded that ace queen. It's something I've worked on to improve. I've made some progress, but I'm not all the way there. And like I was saying, it's funny in hindsight how I feel like it was so obvious with that ace queen. Maybe it wasn't so obvious, and at least in my mind. But it's weird how much your mind gets muddled in the moment in poker, and to have a clear mind in poker is really key, and your mind gets so muddled in those moments of tension. And that's when experience and you know, not being on tilt and just having your emotions in check and your mind in check, getting enough sleep, stuff like that, just really helps. Just having clarity in those moments of stress and emotion and difficulty and terror, as who said that poker is hours of boredom mixed with moments of sheer terror or something like that, at least live poker. You know, having a clear mind in those moments is so key, because you can know exactly what the right play is, but in those moments you don't always make it. And you know, in internet poker you don't have a lot of time to analyze these situations, and you kind of are put under the gun a little bit, and being able to think clearly in those is something to really separate bad players from good players, and good players from great players, and decent players from okay players. Decent players from okay players. Doesn't make any sense. But you know what I'm talking about. So I will stop talking about that. You're probably getting bored of me talking about that. Hopefully I'm entertaining in some fashion. I hope. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't still be watching. Hopefully I'm giving you some free educational content, which is what I hope for mid-stakes and low-stakes grinder who don't want to go to the professional sites. And I got the nuts. I can't not go all in. Could easily be a split, and it is. I actually said it is before he showed it. I just, if he's gonna call there, I assumed it was a split. Again, this is kind of a nitty play, but I just don't know what my edge is shoving there, really. Hitting a set is probably my edge, I guess. But, you know, I don't see much of an edge in shoving. So, I mean, I've definitely experimented with playing much more aggressive, and honestly kind of ruins my game. I've seen some people do it magically. You know, there's some guys I've studied poker with and talked to about and watched their plays, and some guys are able to just do it magically, and I don't know exactly what it is they're doing that I'm not. I mean, I understand there's so much thought that goes into it, but I haven't been able to master that style of play. I'll put it that way. I'm just gonna fold. I got enough to fold. I haven't been able to master that style of play. And it's definitely a style, because you can take elements of it, but if you kind of half adopt the style of playing really aggressive and stuff, it just kind of flops on you, and you know, you kind of leave yourself vulnerable, because part of it is developing an image. But anyways, I'm done with this part. I'll see you guys in the next part. Bye-bye.